What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American, here today to react and learn about some traditional Norwegian cuisine. Now, I'll be honest, as an American, I'll admit that non-American food kind of freaks me out. So today, I thought it would be fun to check out this video, which has celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay traveling to Norway to try some traditional Norwegian cuisine, traditional Norwegian food, and see what he thinks about it. So I think this will be quite interesting. I'm also really curious what kind of food we're talking about here. Really traditional Norwegian food. I am quite curious, so let's take a look.
Gordon Ramsay headed to Norway to learn how to cook like a true Viking.
Oh!
But how this region developed...
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Ramsay headed to Norway to learn how to cook like a...
What is this? Okay. First 5 seconds. We're 4 seconds into the video, and already I'm kind of like, I don't know. We got a fish cut open, sprinkling, I don't know. See, this is just a big difference between American and Norwegian culture. In America, we just don't see things like this. The actual fish. And maybe it would be good if us Americans were a little more exposed to the reality of food, that it comes from an animal. But we don't see the animal dead in America. We don't really see dead fish. When you buy fish in America, if you do that, it's already cut up and prepared. You never see the fish dead. You just see the meat cut up. And that's true for all meat in America. So this is already a big difference.
True Viking. But how this region developed some of its traditional dishes happened long before these explorers took to the seas.
Okay.
I want to move to Norway.
Oh, wow. He wants to move to Norway already. Is Gordon Ramsay well known in Norway? Because he's British, but he's very, very well known in America. Celebrity chef, celebrity cook. And he already wants to move to Norway. This is traditional Norwegian cuisine from the Sami to the Vikings. Wow, okay. We're getting really traditional here. The Sami, that's the indigenous Norwegian people, right? That lived in Norway, like originally, way back. And Vikings as well. Okay. Okay.
The Sami people are indigenous to the Sampi region, which includes northern parts of Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow. It's Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. Oh, that's good for me to know. Okay, I didn't know that.
Russia. They're descendants of nomadic peoples who've inhabited the region for thousands of years.
Okay.
Their population today is estimated to be around 80,000.
Wow, 80,000. That's kind of cool that this video is kind of highlighting the Sami people, Sami culture. That's actually a nice thing as well. It's something I don't really know much about in regards to Norwegian culture. Only 80,000. That's not many at all.
With about half currently living in Norway.
Wow.
Despite their relatively small population size, Sami people have had a huge influence on Nordic culture, and even in feature films, like Frozen 2.
Huh. This is so interesting, actually. Yeah, I've wondered what impact the Sami have on the rest of Norwegian culture. Half the Sami live in Norway. Okay.
But one of their biggest influences is in their cuisine. Traditionally, the Sami were hunter-gatherers that feasted on in-season berries and animal-based meals like reindeer meat and fish.
Reindeer meat and fish. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. That's another funny thing. We do not, we don't have reindeer in the United States. I didn't even know people ate reindeer. I wasn't even sure if reindeer actually existed. Because in America, that's just something we think is made up, that pulls Santa's sleigh, honestly. Anyway, just a quick look at the food here. It went by pretty quickly.
And even in feature films, like Frozen 2. But one of their biggest influences is
This is like a stew. That looks like it could be okay.
in their cuisine. Traditionally,
I have no idea what this is. This looks like sushi almost. Is this raw fish? Did the Sami invent sushi?
the Sami were hunter-gatherers that feasted on in-season berries and animal-based meals, like reindeer meat and fish.
Okay.
The meats were preserved through salting and drying. Communal reindeer herding later replaced hunting and became an integral part of the Sami economy.
No kidding. Reindeer herding. Like in America, where you'd have a herd of cows or a herd of sheep. In Norway, the Sami have reindeer herds. Really? I had no idea.
How many are in the herd?
What's your fortune?
I think Magna is trying to tell me that it's rude to ask a Sami about the size of their herd.
Culturally, the Sami people used all parts of the animal so that nothing would go to waste.
Right.
Are they warm?
Yes, raw.
Wow, they really do everything traditionally. I mean, that makes sense, but even they do a really good job of preserving the Sami culture. Even the shoes are made out of like animal hide.
Doesn't make so you waste nothing.
No.
No waste.
Nothing at
Even
all.
the shoe. I mean,
Even
could you make them my size 15?
Expensive.
Animal byproducts like hides, bones, and blood were used for clothing, tools, and even other meals.
Wow.
Blood pancakes, anyone?
Come on. Gordon Ramsay has no problem. He's ready to go. Blood pancake. What does that mean? What does that even mean? Like literal blood? Literal animal blood? Can you even cook that? You can make it into a pancake? What?
Cakes, anyone?
I actually like the flavor. The texture's quite thick and dense.
And now, onto the Vikings.
Thick and dense. Oh my god, what does a blood pancake taste like? Oh my, that is traditional. I've heard of some of the Norwegian food, like fish balls, sheep's head, right? But never anything like this, a blood pancake. Never heard of it.
Onto the Vikings. The Viking Age started around the late 8th century, where Danish, Norwegian, and Swedish warriors took to the seas to raid and colonize other parts of Europe.
Okay.
To meet the high energy demands of a Viking lifestyle, high-fat foods were a necessity.
Here we go. Now, okay, finally, back into my comfort zone. This is what Americans are used to. This is just like, even if this is reindeer, it's just like cut up hunks of meat. Okay, I would have been a Viking. That is the lifestyle for me. This is the food, okay.
Especially in winter months. Vikings were comprised of independent farmers, and when on land, they surprisingly had a good amount of variety in their diet. This included cereals, animal milks, wild fruit and berries, and a wide variety of meat, including
I like this. Meat, berries, cereal. What kind of cereal? Cereal? What kind of cereal did they have back? Like Vikings eating cereal. That's a funny image. With a bowl and a spoon and everything.
including horses, pigs, goats, and sheep.
Horses. It's so funny how different cultures are. Here in America, most people would be very, very disturbed at the idea of eating horse meat. I have never eaten horse meat. I don't know how popular horse meat is in Norway, or if it's just something that the Vikings did. Yeah, Americans would actually be pretty grossed out at the idea of eating a horse. I don't know why. It's just I don't know why we eat a cow, but not a horse. It's kind of strange how we think that's different in a way. Yeah, huh.
This is a sheep's head,
Sheep head.
How far does this date back?
900th century.
Ja, vikingtid.
The Viking.
Vikings, 900th century. So they actually just put a sheep's head on a stick?
How far?
Hold on.
Goats and sheep.
This is a
What is this? This is how you cook it? I did not know. I thought you put it in a pot. They put the sheep's head on a stick and put it in a fire. That's literally how they cooked it. Wow. Talk about that. That's a traditional Viking meal.
a sheep's head,
How far does this date back?
900th century.
Ja, vikingtid.
The Viking.
Wow.
There they are.
Fish and fresh shellfish like scallops were also staples.
Whoa, what is it? There's a lot of stuff here. It goes by very quickly.
Fish and fresh
What is this? Like sea urchins, shellfish. Yeah, again, this is all very strange for me as an American. I don't even know what half of this stuff is. I think that's a sea urchin. Yeah, American, we don't eat fish or seafood very much. You can find it a little bit, but this is quite strange to me.
shellfish like scallops were also staples.
Scallops.
Both at land and at sea.
I'm amazed. How sweet they are. That's a big shock for me.
Like the Sami, Vikings were not known to let food go to waste.
I'm sorry. You have to forgive me. I don't mean to offend the Norwegian culture. I don't. But this is tough. This is tough for me. What is this? I don't even know what this is.
Domestic animals were first used as working animals, then later eaten, which led to established delicacies.
What is this? It looks like a volcano. I mean, when I look at a food and I cannot even tell you what it is, that sets up alarm bells for me.
Like sheep's head.
Sheep's head.
Boiling meat in stews was a great way to help meals stretch.
This looks good. Don't tell me what's in it. Don't tell me what's in the stew. It looks good. I just have to go for it.
And stay flavorful. For example, in a Viking scouse, meat and vegetables were taken out of the pot, then replaced with new ones.
Huh.
This allowed for the broth to be extra concentrated throughout the days of cooking. Also like the Sami, meat and fish were often dried and salted for long-term preservation.
Oh, do they still do this? That's amazing to me. That's really cool, actually, preserving this way of life, this culture in Norway. They actually salt the meat and put it in a bucket and preserve it the old way. That's actually really cool. It works, you know? There's nothing like unhealthy or dangerous about it. It's worked for thousands of years. That's cool.
From the indigenous traditions of the Sami to the conquering spirits of the Vikings, Norwegian cuisine and food preparation has survived for centuries.
Wow.
And while some of the dishes may look a little different today,
Yeah, they're quite different for me.
their roots will remain for generations to come.
Yes. That's cool. That's actually really cool. That's funny. This video didn't even have Gordon Ramsay doing all that much. Although when they did show Gordon Ramsay eating things, he seemed to enjoy himself. He's a professional chef. He has a much more sophisticated palate than I have, so it'd be definitely very interesting to try these foods. I'm curious, for Norwegians out there, have you tried all of these traditional Norwegian foods? Here in America, when I think about it, America is not that old of a country. The United States, we don't really have traditional food. It hasn't been that long. We have barbecue and hamburgers and pizza. So I can't really relate to the idea of traditional food. So I think that's actually a very, very cool thing about Norwegian culture. And what I was trying to say is, for Norwegians out there, have you tried some of this food? Are you encouraged? Do you have opportunities to try these old traditional Norwegian foods? Do you, or some of them, or I'm curious. Because if this was my culture, I think I would be interested in maybe exploring it. But since I'm American, I still am a little skeptical. This stuff is quite different for me. If you're out there and you've had this and you think enjoy it or appreciate it, I think that's great. And I definitely thought this was quite fascinating. A cool look at Viking and Sami culture as well, which I don't know much about. So anyway, if you enjoyed this video as well, feel free to give this a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on this old traditional Norwegian food. And if you've ever tried it, that'd be really interesting to hear about, actually. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and Norwegian culture and learning things about Norway, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.